on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Topics with Mr. Javadi. We have panel discussion number 2. And today in panel discussion number 2, we have Claire Barta with us, and we have Jessica, what's your last name?
Maxfield.
Huh?
Maxfield.
Maxwell?
Field.
Maxfield. So Jessica Maxfield here with us. Claire's a great member of the Greeley community, and Jessica, you now live in Fort Collins, right? And both of them very wonderful citizens, and so we're going to be discussing the topics that we've been covering for the channel. And today we have 7 of them that we'll discuss, and so that's basically what we're going to do. We'll just go around the table, share our opinions about them. We may not be experts at all of them or any of them. Yours truly is not an expert in that many of them, but you know, we don't claim expertise, we just claim participation and doing our best. So anyway, first of all, I want to thank you for joining us, Jessica and Claire. Thank you very much for your time, your generosity of your time. The first topic I have is Mr. Ben Nighthorse Campbell. Now, he is a Native American. He's still alive. He lives in the Four Corners area, I think, in Colorado. He has a ranch. He's Native American. He is a, I believe, Air Force veteran. He also was a judo expert at one time. I don't know if he's that much involved in judo anymore, but he has quite an extensive background in judo. He is now just working with horses and in his ranch, and he's also working on Native American jewelry. I got the opportunity to speak with his chief of staff not that long ago, and got to do the interview with the chief of staff because Ben himself is not in the greatest health, unfortunately, right now, and his age is rather up, unfortunately for us. But he is a jewel. Speaking of working on jewelry, in my opinion, he's a jewel in our history, in our Colorado history especially, because he served. He served. In whatever he did, he served. He taught school for a while. He also worked as a counselor. He helped out young kids and youth, and then of course eventually, because of the name recognition he had, somehow he got involved in politics and went into the U.S. Senate, served Colorado in the U.S. Senate. One of the few Native Americans who have gone into government, and he just did such an outstanding job. And why he was so outstanding, and by the way, I've actually had email contact with him himself, but that would go back a few years before we did this channel. But my impression of him is he's a people person. He returns your phone call. He talked to me, you know, who am I, you know, type thing. And yet he did, and it was like I was his neighbor. And his chief of staff, likewise, very nice person. And they spent time with me, he did, on the interview. But the impression I've had of him is that he just served. And he wasn't interested in partisan politics. He wasn't interested in whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or anybody else. He just helped people. He served. And so I just wanted to talk about that idea. And with that, I'll go to Jessica Maxfield first. Jessica, your thoughts on that?
I think both parties need to learn how to work together and problem solve rather than accusing each other of things.
I totally agree. And Claire, what do you think about this?
I agree with Jessica.
Yeah.
Just because you're a Republican or a Democrat does not mean that the issues are Republican and Democratic. I mean, we have issues in this country that need to be addressed.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. As a teacher, and I know, Claire, you relate to this, as a teacher, most of the teachers that I've worked with, and I've worked with lots of amazing teachers, they were Democrats. They were Democrats, and I always saw nothing in that other than we work together. We work together to help the kids. And that was our goal, that was our mindset, that's how we went about business. So I just like to see that type of atmosphere return to our nation. But we see a good example of that in Ben Nighthorse Campbell, so I encourage everybody to look him up on the web and study about him, because here's the thing about the past, is that it has a tendency to last. In other words, we may today think to ourselves that we don't have an example of something like that, that there's a lot of friction, there's a lot of division, but guess what? We have the past. So if we look at the past, we see examples of that. Another good example of that is Bill Clinton. I thought he was a great president. I thought he worked from the middle and tried to help everybody. He didn't really care too much about the labels. He tried to respect everyone. And so I think that's, I just like to see that type of mindset come back to our nation. Any other thoughts from anybody?
I agree with you.
Well, thank you very much. So that's Ben Nighthorse Campbell. Ben, thank you for your service.
How long was he in senator?
I think altogether, and I could be wrong on this, people have to just look it up, but I think altogether there was something like 20 years with everything he did. That includes Senate and some of the other positions he held. But I think he was in government altogether about 20. I could be wrong on that. You know, I encourage people to look that up. I wish I had it with me, but I don't. So, wonderful man. So, okay. So speaking of tradition, speaking of the past, how do you feel about records? Do you like records?
You know, I grew up with recordings.
Yeah.
On vinyl. I did. But I am not a connoisseur. Because I don't know the difference between the vinyl and the CD. I mean, you know, I know what people say, but me, I listen to music. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And I have vinyl in my garage. It's probably ruined because it's hot and cold. I don't know.
I
but,
see.
I don't have a record player. Oh, wait a minute, I do too. My dad's stereo system somehow ended up in my basement. And I have listened to some things, but I don't know the difference.
Well, that's okay. What about you, Jessica?
I really don't necessarily totally have an opinion of it. I know my mom has my dad's handful of records that were important to him over his life from the time they met.
Well, I just think that something about it that I really enjoy, and I'll tell you in a little bit what story we're talking about next, but the one thing that I really enjoy about it is the artwork that's on the album cover. I just always was at an awe about the artwork, because you would see some amazing artwork on these album covers. By the way, I've tried to interview a couple of album cover artists, and I'm working on that. But as of yet, you know, we're still working on it. But the album covers, to me, they're just amazing. And the sound of the record, I have to say, I like that raw sound. I think the CD has its place. I think the YouTube has its place, or Spotify. I think all of these things have their place. But the record also has its place. And I think in the Spanish language, record is something that you like remember, maybe, or it's having to do with memory. You keep record of something, so you remember it. The Spanish have that word. So with records, I just think it's something that we ought to at least note of a valuable item in the past. And that's what this record store does, which my brother and I visited some time back. It's called Downtown Sound. It's in Greeley. And oh boy, I mean, it's amazing. It's like you're stepping back into the past. You know, I even saw people cleaning records, which I hadn't seen in a long time. And it was just such a sight to behold. But you know, you look at all those album covers and you look at all the artists and you can read about them, and it's very informational. But the people, my goodness, they're very, very nice. They take care of you. They are also next. I think downtown really is doing some amazing things here lately. And one of them is that right next to the record store, we've got the bookstore, the Midnight Oil bookstore. And it is kind of the 60s, 70s, 80s type, you know, bookstore. And so again, you just feel like you're stepping back in the past. But it's wonderful, the feeling of it and the way the people take care of you. The knowledge they have, by the way, they're very knowledgeable. I guess we found out that Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top had visited that particular operation with the records. But more about that on the video. It's on the channel, you can watch it. But some more thoughts about you know, just the tradition of records, music. What do you think?
I have two recordings. I don't have them now, but speaking of the artwork, one when I was like 4 years old, my dad had a recording of Isaac Stern playing Mozart's the fourth concerto and the Mendelssohn concerto. And on the cover was this beautiful violin, and that always interested me. And at age 4, I would say that that's when I wanted to play the violin.
Wow.
The other recording had to do with Christmas.
Oh yes, yes, those
And
beautiful albums. Yeah.
It was the recording was Amal and the Night Visitors, and it was a made-for-TV opera in the 50s. The cover was probably a photo or something of this 16th century picture of the nativity scene. And I still remember that.
Yeah, some amazing work that went into that. I understand producing records is in and of itself quite a high-tech process. I mean, it is technological. I mean, you know, what you have to do to actually put a record together. And so, but anyway, more about that later, but please take the time, if you have it, to visit that record store. And I mean, it's just worth it if you just want to get a taste of that past and the music tradition. They're really nice people. By the way, the owner's son has his own rock band, so he's a musician, you know, and we're gonna talk about that local talent here in a little bit. But it's a very nice place. A lot of history, a lot of stories, you know. I guess they're connected to some of the people there are connected to the Finest record store, which was kind of a household name in Fort Collins and Greeley for a while. So yeah, a lot of history there. Nice people. The next one is Shandy's Mediterranean Restaurant. Have you had Mediterranean food, Claire? Claire, go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
But the person who's cooking most of it, like 99%, is Farzine. And I've been going to Farzine since 2012 and love Iranian food.
Yes, yes. It is very tasty. Of course, I'm a little bit biased, but it really is tasty. Jessica, your thoughts on that?
It's delicious.
So you've had some experience with it.
Oh yeah, over at Farzine's house.
Yeah.
We've been to Denver a time or two over the years. It's just been a while, so.
And
But I haven't been to that particular restaurant.
well, it's worth a visit. But you know, in Fort Collins, you have the Taj Mahal. It's a place that I like to visit. You know, they have Hindustani, Pakistani style food, really, really just delicious. So we're blessed that we have that around us, and in Denver we have Shandi's restaurant, which I just think is amazing. Now what I found, and I'm interested in your comments about this, what I found really interesting was the rice. I have never in my entire life had rice that delicious. And the first comment I made was, wow, I don't think they rushed cooking this. And then I talked to the owner. Sure enough, they take 2 days just to prepare the rice. Now, what do they do with that? They soak it in water and vinegar. And so they take a 2-day process. Now, I don't know all the details on it. You'd have to look it up, but they take a 2-day process just to prepare the rice before they cook it. And I tell you what, the result is worth it. My goodness, is worth it. So tell me about your experience with cooking rice.
I don't.
You
Me
don't?
neither.
You don't?
I burn it.
So what about rices you have had?
Well, because really seriously, it's been years since I've cooked. So,
My husband doesn't like my cooking, so
he gets to cook it?
he has to do the cooking.
I see.
If he wants to eat
I
stuff.
see.
Good for you.
If I cook stuff, he'll eat it maybe once to
Yeah.
entertain me.
I think Farzine's rice is delicious.
Oh,
His Todd did.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the tadik. I love the tadik.
Which is the bottom of the rice. It's kind of like you put bread in it, right? Potatoes and bread.
Uh-huh.
And
It's
you,
the potatoes that I like the
Yes.
Uh-huh.
you let it cook with the rice, and so it kind of gets crispy, right? Yeah, so Shandi's restaurant, but the other point in it is, and I talked to the owner a little bit, it's on the channel, by the way. All of these are on the channel. But the owner was talking about his experience of coming to this country and then opening up the restaurant. Just that whole process of what it took to finally get it going. And I guess he's having some really good success. But it wasn't that easy to begin with. You know, he had to work on it. So we talked about the process that it took to get there. And it just involved a lot of work. But that whole idea of the effort that the immigrant makes to come here and to be an addition, which I think he's done. So any thoughts on that, Claire?
I have to say that
Yeah.
what makes me sad about Greeley is that we did have a Persian restaurant, it was Rumi's,
Roomies, yeah, yeah.
and I loved their food,
Yes.
and whatever happened, but they closed, and I was really sad about that. And then Dariush,
Sahara.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember Dariush's last name.
Yeah, I don't remember it either,
I can't remember,
but
but-
Sahara restaurant.
It was good, and we went there a few times, and now we don't have any. We have lots of Mexican restaurants,
Mhm.
but
Well, again, just getting that break and having that, I don't know what's the word to look for this, but you know, kind of like a mental escape. You go to a place like that, it's so relaxing, and it's so encouraging in many ways. But it just brings back we have a beautiful planet. We just we have to kind of, I think, recognize that and enjoy it more, because there really is a lot there that can help us psychologically and, you know, anything else wise, and plus it's delicious. So we really liked that Shandi's restaurant. 2 other things we liked. One was the hummus, which was amazing. It was like almost like a cake. It was so creamy and so yummy. So the hummus was amazing, and the tea, the hot tea, just amazing tea. So any thoughts on any of that before I move on?
I was gonna say something and I may have forgotten it.
I think we need a road trip, Claire.
Yeah, I think so too. No, what I wanna say is that whatever nationality has come here, and it's a difficult process, you may have left your home because of the political situation.
Persecution or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, and you come here and you have a skill and you think, maybe people here would like this food. And they start a restaurant or something, and these immigrants, I think they're doing wonderful things. And I don't like what's happening to the immigrants, to the Hispanic population here in this country.
South American.
Yeah, South American. I think they have skills. They have skills and they have gifts to offer us. And I don't believe in rounding up people because they look Hispanic or they speak Spanish. I just don't agree with that.
I agree. And they also come here and do jobs that those of us that were born in this country wouldn't even think about. And that includes their kids that they have here.
Roofing. The roofers,
Agriculture.
Agriculture. All of these things. They utilize their skills.
They're hardworking and
Yes.
respectable people. We're coming from an agricultural family, American-born people doing those same jobs. There was something wrong with them and they scared me as a child.
Well, and of course, you all know I'm Iranian and I'm an immigrant, first generation. And I didn't even speak English all that well when I first came. I was about 15 years old. But I don't personally, and this is where we can agree to disagree in a civilized way, but I don't personally think that a country has no right to have boundaries or to have laws and regulations. My brother and I, our family, we went through it. We had to go through that process, and we didn't ever build a resentment about it. And I just think that we also have to recognize that in this country, we also have a lot of that diversity, which I just got through talking about, already available, already being done. And so, a place like Westwood, California, which is in Los Angeles, Pejman and I, we've been there. It's almost like stepping back in Tehran. That was one of the thoughts I had. Was it feels familiar. It feels like Iran, because the store signs are in Persian. Everybody greets you in Persian. You have all the Persian stores, bookstores, etc. And so I personally think that there's a process that should be allowed to be had. Otherwise, why would universities, for example, have an admission process? If you think about it, then persons shouldn't get a degree in anything, because they should just be able to do it. So I think that having a process is absolutely right, but I also think that these points that Claire just brought up should be kept in mind, because there are cases, individual cases, and there are situations that really bear being sensitive to and being appropriate towards. So hopefully something will work out of all of that, but that's just my view. So anyway, so we talked about Shandi's restaurant, great experience, and I wish them continued success. If you're in Denver, please check them out. Harley Davidson. What do you know about Harley Davidson motorcycles, Jessica?
Zero.
My uncle drove one and it was fun to go with him.
Yeah.
From the time I was about 15 on.
Yeah. Well,
my parents' fears.
Yeah. I'm not a motorcycle person, so I don't, really have any mechanical knowledge about them or technical knowledge about them. Never really owned one. I do have a bicycle that has a motor on it. That is a motor run bicycle, and it's kind of fun, but I haven't had the opportunity to enjoy it lately. However, I have to say I'm aware of, you know, the movies and the pop culture and the music, you know, all the things that are built around the Harley Davidson brand. It is, by the way, I think a wonderful tradition that we have in this nation. They are really, really handsomely built. The design is just amazing. And so I have to say my trip to the store, which is in Greeley, was outstanding. I was told while I was there that there are people from Germany that come to this store here in Greeley. They buy the motorcycle and they park it in one of the, I don't know, wherever they're able to park it, store it, I guess. And then they enjoy it while they're here. They go back to Germany, and then the next time they're in the States, they come pick up their cycle and go for an enjoyment ride on them. And so I guess they're valued very highly. And I think they do have stores in Germany and other places in Europe that, especially in Germany, Harley Davidson is very popular. So it's a very, very famous brand. Well built, very durable. The owner talked about a Harley Davidson motorcycle that one of the workers has, and I guess it was built in, like, I hope I'm not getting this terribly wrong, but like in the 40s or 50s, and he's still driving it, and it's just durable and just doing a great job. So the durability and the craftsmanship, what do you have to say about that?
All I know is my uncle bought one, I think in the 90s, and even though he had the resources to get new whenever he wanted, he never did. He kept the same one, so he only had one for all those years.
I don't know.
So that's all I know.
Yeah, well,
Which isn't much.
And the only thing I knew, I saw the picture on his wall that Farzine drove a motorcycle for a while.
oh, did he? I didn't know that. Wow. Okay, interesting. I'll have to talk to him about that. But the people are very nice. They take care of you, and I was just fascinated by the designs and the collection. Okay, so next to that, kind of appropriate, going from the stores to this one. What do you think about customer service nowadays? Are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it? Let's just share some thoughts on that.
I think it's generational, and the new generation that's coming up.
Yeah.
Don't have the skills to do that. Do you think?
Or personality.
Personality? I don't know.
Because they're very
they're used to doing this.
Exactly. They're very screen driven, and
That's an interesting phrase. Screen driven, yeah.
yeah, so they're very used to having that screen in front of them. They don't know about having a conversation with someone outside of whatever game they're playing.
I had an experience just fairly recently this summer. I bought a used car from the Toyota place, and they were very nice to me
Oh, that's good. That's good.
and took care of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I guess I just bought a new car the very beginning of the summer.
Wow.
oh, really? What did you get?
A Subaru.
Oh,
A
wow.
Subaru.
And we all switched over.
You're styling, you know.
Yeah.
The Su-
Yeah, my mom
Su-
told me what way to
yeah,
go,
yeah.
so
Subaru is very high
I was
class.
gonna go with Toyota again, but between her and my husband, they persuaded me other ways.
So were you happy with the customer service?
Delaware was
Yeah.
super easy to work with,
Yeah.
and they gave me the best deal they could. There's a deal between the company I work for and them, so that they take care of people that take care of others.
Yeah.
So it's not just Columbine, it's UC Health, it's first responders, they give everyone deals.
Well, I have gotten somewhat into the habit of, if I see it, I pronounce it. If I see it, I say, oh, good job, you were very pleasant, thank you. And I'm about to do a little bit more bragging about some of the places here lately. But I felt very well taken care of today at the Greeley Centennial Library. I think the people at the front desk were very helpful to us. They helped us get this room, and they were very nice about it. Good for them. Now, to me, that's service with a smile. And just recently I was in Walmart actually, and one of the electronic people in the back was very helpful, very nice, very pleasant. And I made sure and told him that, because when I see it, I want to like increase it. I want to say, wow, that's nice, so that I see more of it. So yeah, there are places that do a good job. Another place I was talking about is a dollar store on 10th Street here in Greeley. Amazing service, great prices, very clean, very organized, just nice experience all around. So they do exist, and I encourage everybody. By the way, leave your comments what you think, whether you've had a good experience or a bad experience. Let me know what your thoughts are. But when you see it, I think for me personally, it helps to just say it. What do you think, Claire?
Well, for instance,
Yeah.
I agree, say it to the people.
Yeah.
But I've been in Kohl's, I was getting pajamas for the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
Oh, in Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was nobody there to ask. There's nobody around. And it leaves you, like, okay, well, I guess I found what I needed, but I didn't get any help doing it.
Yeah.
So
And
that's my experience
that's
there.
that's the negative one that kind of brought about this topic, which I totally agree with you, because there's way too much of it. But then when there are those highlights, I'm finding that it helps me to say to them, like Claire's saying, say to them, hey, that was nice, you did a great job. So,
I also like leaving
Yeah.
Google reviews for them,
yeah,
making sure like everybody knows, so then when people are looking for a restaurant or a store or whatever, they can look at it and see that they
Because-
can provide that, because I think that is important to share with others, so that then it's open.
because it's important, isn't it?
Yes.
It's important.
But it's
to-
also, on the flip
Yeah,
side, it's
yeah.
important to share when they don't do well.
Yeah.
So
No,
then,
yeah.
because you wanna see the places that do well
Mhm.
succeed.
Yes, I agree. So let us know what you think, leave your thoughts, please. Okay, this next one. Now, I've even done a video about this because it's a big deal to me. People not returning phone calls. My goodness, I'm a social type of a dude, I'm on the phone a lot, especially now with the channel. But I've always been that way. I call a lot of places, and I'm inquisitive. I want to learn. I want to know. And boy, I've been, especially with the channel, I've been on the phone a lot. I would say for about the past 10 years, I'm noticing a trend, and maybe it's a little bit longer, but I'm noticing a trend where people just don't give a darn. They don't return your call. You can call them several times, it just doesn't do anything, and you email them, no message returned. And even there, if a person returns my phone call or returns my email, I tell them, hey, good job, because you did this, thank you, A+ on your public relations. But anyway, not that I always do that, but I kind of want to let them know. So returning phone calls, Claire, your thoughts?
I'm mostly concerned, because see, I have to return calls when someone calls me up and wants lessons. I always call right back. But I get 1,000 messages, it feels like a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I delete them.
And
most of them.
you were sort of referring to that as your spam messages or
Yeah,
anything?
most of them.
Yeah.
They're political.
Yeah, okay.
And I
Yeah,
get a whole bunch of them, they want money.
yeah,
Of course they do.
And I gave to Jason Crow and I gave to Joe, is it Joe Naguse?
Uh-huh.
And now everybody wants some money, but I can't give money to everybody.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I delete them.
So I guess if you are a solicitor, process that, take that in, because it causes that type of situation. And Jessica, what about you?
I find a lot of people just wanna text
Yeah,
back and forth rather than actually talking on the phone. Because it's easier to respond to a text, but then, and I'm to fault for this, when you have so many texts on your phone and you don't get everyone responded to because there's that much of a backlog.
mhm. So part of it is just the way things are with technology and the way things have become, like people's
Yeah.
preference is texting, yeah. Well, I guess that's a good point. Again, let me know what you think, but I have also texted though. I have also text messaged and I don't always get a response back, so I don't know if it's, just, maybe it comes across as solicitation, which I don't really ever mean to solicit. I don't know if it's just, person feels like they don't wanna take the time to, get busy with that call right now, and, I don't know, but, let me know what you think. I just think it's somewhat of a disturbing trend. I think, you should try to return phone calls. We weren't talking about Farzine, and we've talked about him before because he has the Persian basement, the famous Persian basement, and Claire's part of that. Jessica's been there. My brother was filming, has been there. But I'll mention him again in that if there's a person in this planet that returns phone calls, it's him. I call within half hour sometimes. He'll call back. I've hardly ever called him and not heard back from him. And so maybe that's just old-fashioned thinking. Maybe it's just the way the culture, like myself. But I have to say he's one who does. Okay, enough of the phone calls. Let me know what you think. We are gonna go to the last one. Okay, this is about local talent. Local talent. My goodness, do we have a garden of it. Right here at the table, Claire is a violin player, works for the Greeley Philharmonic Orchestra.
Not anymore.
Not anymore,
Nope, I resigned.
but you did for a long time.
26 years.
26 years you were doing it. So now you're just teaching lessons?
Yeah.
Yeah, and which is wonderful. Thank you for your time with them, by the way. It has been wonderful. We've seen you in some shows. It's just been amazing. We have Jessica Maxfield, talented in her own way in what she does. Very skilled, I would say, with people. Does a great job on that. But local talent. Local talent. It can be cooking, it can be music, it can be theater. I just ran into a guy a short while ago, and I encourage everybody, develop your eyes for this, notice it, because it's all around you. I just ran into a guy that, right here in the library, he does some sort of a graphic design. He prints pictures that he's allowed to print, puts it on the wall, he sketches them, and then he somehow engraves them, I guess if that's the right word, into glass. And I'm thinking, wow, that's some amazing talent. I mean, you all know people around you who can draw. God rest his soul, John. I think you all know John Coleman. He drew really well with that pencil, my goodness. I mean, within 15 minutes, he'd come up with a masterpiece, just with the pencil and just with the paper. I have some of his illustrations, by the way, and they're just amazing. But you have local talent, it's out there. So first of all, let's just warm up with that a little bit, and then I'll take us to the person that we have in the topic, so.
Well, I'm a friend of Cynthia Schler, and she's an excellent, excellent photographer, and she makes these wonderful cards, and you've gotten some of them too.
Oh, yeah. I buy them for my mother too.
Yeah. Oh, I have enough for my next Christmas cards.
I love them.
I do too. You know, I thought, this is a theory, that if we had healthcare that was for everybody, and you weren't tied to your job in healthcare, there would be a blossoming of beauty, and people could do creative things without worrying about, well, I gotta keep my job because I get healthcare, you know, but that's my theory.
Well, and I think it's an interesting point. Jessica, your thoughts?
I agree with what Claire said. We're all very busy with the hustle and bustle of life.
The day just goes like a jet plane. I mean, it's so fast, yeah.
I think the other problem with our society is that it is too fast, and that if people could slow down, it would be better, we wouldn't be forced to keep going like that. I mean.
Well, how do you do that? How do you slow down?
I just slow down.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I'm not surely actually, what I am is a procrastinator. I'm a very good procrastinator. But if it's something I have to get done, like my taxes, I had to get them done before I go to Germany. I got them done. Now the bed is a mess, and I want to get that cleaned up before I go. But if I have to do something, I get it done finally, eventually. And that's what I do. But you know, otherwise I'm lazy. I have to tell you, I'm kind of lazy too.
But what I'm talking about is that almost meditational slowing down.
Oh, yeah.
You, what do? You pick up the violin, play for a little bit? Do you get into that Persian poetry? I mean, you get the chai, or how do you?
I read poetry. I spend too much time on my phone, but or on the computer sometimes.
That's okay.
But
Yeah, because there's these, and I really mean it very seriously, because I think it's a skill we all need. You know, like Jessica was talking about, it's just, you know, slowing down, and you were saying it as well. But Jessica, do you have any thoughts on that, on slowing down? What are your methods of doing it?
I try to hit it hard at work Monday through Thursday, get some extra hours, so Fridays are my half days, and I can go and do what I want to do at home for a few hours, be home alone and
Do projects?
do projects or whatever, and then my husband comes home and then we just do whatever we feel like doing that night.
Yeah. Very important, very important. There was a fellow that I knew for a while, and I won't mention his name for keeping his privacy, but one time I noticed, we were just having a discussion kind of like this in a way. He walks up to the fridge, gets a pitcher of water and ice, sits down, has ice and water, and pours it in his glass and drinks it. The whole thing was amazing. I mean, it just spoke to me of, that's what you do. You slow down.
Yep.
You take a break, and it could be simple as that wonderful glass of ice water, you know. And but to have that ability to enjoy that, to have those simplistic moments, I guess.
Fixing tea.
What's that?
Fixing tea.
Fixing tea, yeah, very amazing, yeah,
Important.
yeah.
Important, yeah.
Yeah. So, not to get away from the topic, but we are talking about local talent. But I think that's kind of, in a way, a talent. To be able to slow down, to be able to enjoy. And again, you know, Farzin does a great job of that. But how do you do it? You know, pay attention to that. Leave me comments about that. How do you slow down? But anyway, local talent. And I think that is a kind of a talent, but local talent. Okay, so we have the state of Nebraska right next to us in Greeley, Colorado. Do you realize that that state, and it can be talked down about because maybe it's boring, or you know, you've all heard the cliches. I don't find it boring at all. I think it's I think it's a beautiful state, and it has some amazing scenery. But do you realize Marlon Brando, Henry Fonda, Johnny Carson, Dick Cavett, and of course the person I'm about to talk about is coming up, but Randy Meisner of the Eagles, who was the founding member of the Eagles. They are all from Nebraska. They're all from Nebraska, and there's way more where that comes from. Glenn Miller. Glenn Miller is from Nebraska. Now, he grew up in Fort Morgan, graduated from high school, but he's from Nebraska. Glenn Miller is. And so, and now we come to Don Osborne. Now, Don Osborne lives in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Amazing man, very talented. He just had a book come out about achieving your goals, kind of a life coaching type book, which I recommend everyone to get, including myself. I'm planning on getting it. But boy, what a talent. He worked with Randy Meisner of the Eagles, because Randy went solo for a while. And so Randy needed a bass player, and Don played bass for him. I asked him, well, what did Randy do then? Because Randy himself is a bass player, and he said Randy sang. So Randy did the vocals, Don did the, I guess the backup vocals, and he also did the bass. Sometimes, I guess, piano. But he's a songwriter. He has his own musical career to brag about. He just wrote a book. He worked with Jan and Dean from the coast. You know, I guess they were kind of somewhat involved with the Beach Boys, you know, Jan and Dean. And he's done some, I think, MTV videos, if I'm not mistaken. But very talented, very involved, very busy. Knows Claire, by the way, because they're both from Scottsbluff. He worked for a musical talent company, I guess you might say, you know, where they have talent agents and stuff. SoCan in Canada. He lived in Canada for 30 years. So he was involved with the musical scene in Canada. He met Sarah McLachlan, got in close contact with her band members. And then he also met Bryan Adams. So he really does have quite the background. Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Did you hear that? No, so local talent. We have local talent, and there's a lot of it. But that's really the topic. Now, you may or may not know about Don Osborne. What do you think about the local talent in general, which he tries to be, I guess, in a way, an ambassador of? But Claire, go ahead.
There's a lot of it here.
Yeah.
Yep. One of the things that, of course, this was becoming acquainted with Farzin and getting involved in the Persian ensemble.
Yes, yes.
And I would say all of those people. I even played with the Elvis band one concert. It was in November.
You mean the one that Jesse's involved in? Yeah. The impersonation band?
Yeah.
Boy, that's, yeah. Thanks for reminding me of that, because that's a whole load of talent right there.
So.
But Jessica, what do you think?
I think there's a lot more talent than what we know.
Yeah.
But again, go back to the hustle and bustle. People are so busy.
Yeah.
in life that sometimes it's hard to see it all. Embrace it all.
Colorado itself has some acts. Jessica Biel, the actress, right? She's from Boulder. Robert Redford went to school at CU, hung out in Boulder for many years. I guess his daughter later went to CU. John Oates, Daryl Hall and John Oates. John Oates lived in the Denver area for a while. I don't know if he still does, but we have a lot from here, and I guess Fort Collins is going to have somewhat of a show next Thursday or Friday at Washington's, where they have some local Colorado bands. I guess there's about 4 of them that are going to be playing. So, and then of course I talked about the downtown record store. The owner's son has a band. And so there's activity, my goodness, going on all the time.
I will have to
Yeah.
tell you
Yeah.
that the university here, UNC, has one of the best music schools in the country.
I would agree.
And there's gonna be a concert tomorrow, the Beethoven and the Rockies series with Dr. Skinner conducting. He's 95.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't even realize he was still doing that.
And
Yeah.
it's, they're gonna do Beethoven's Second Symphony and
Yeah.
some other thing. Oh, something with piano. He's an immigrant. He's from Poland.
Oh, Dr. Skinner is?
No, Adam Zukowicz.
Adam Zukowicz, okay.
And he'll be playing as well. So there's something tomorrow. And
Wow,
I
wow.
have a student at UNC
Yeah.
who's doing very well in the orchestra. So I would say that there are concerts all the time there, recitals and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. And
Yeah.
they do opera and they do plays and they do lots of things.
And they're fabulous at it. I've seen productions, I have, especially with theater. I've seen quite a few. Amazing, amazing work.
Yeah.
So, by the way, did you know that Nick Nolte actually went to UNC? He was in the theater department for, I believe, a couple of years. So, amazing work. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining today. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, audience, for watching. Please leave your comments, and also please like and subscribe. As Gene Wilder says in, I think, Blazing Saddles, I need all the help I can get. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.